All right, so if you're using AI in your professional or academic work, you've probably hit that big question. How in the world do you make sure you're doing it responsibly, ethically? Well, today we're going to dive into a new guide designed to do just that. It's called the STRESS Framework. Think about it. You're using AI for, data analysis, maybe helping with your writing, or sifting through literature, which is awesome. But then comes the tough part. How do you prove to your colleagues, to your university, or to any review board that you've used it in a way that's totally above board, transparent, fair, and ethically sound? That's the question on everyone's mind right now. So here's the plan. We'll start with the big challenge of responsible AI. Then I'll introduce you to the STRESS framework, and we'll break down its 6 pillars. After that, you'll meet the AI advisor they built to go with it. And finally, we'll look at how you can actually put this all to work. Okay, let's kick things off with the big picture. Why is a framework like this even necessary right now? Well, it all comes down to the fundamental challenge of using AI responsibly. Look, there's no doubt AI is a total game changer for research. It can speed up discovery like nothing else. But that power, it comes with some very real risks. We're talking about hidden biases baked into the algorithms, a serious lack of transparency in how these tools get their answers, and, that kind of fuzzy question of who's actually on the hook when things go wrong. So navigating all those risks requires a clear guide, a map, if you will. And that is exactly what the STSS framework is designed to be. This quote really gets to the heart of it all. This isn't about being scared of AI or avoiding it. It's about grabbing that incredible power and using it with a solid foundation of integrity. So what is this thing exactly? Well, the STRESS framework is basically a set of principles made for people like you and me, researchers, academics, professionals. Its whole goal is to give us a clear, easy-to-remember roadmap to make sure our work with AI is responsible, ethical, and completely transparent. Okay, so let's crack this thing open. The name, STRESS, is actually a pretty clever acronym for its 6 core pillars, which basically act as your ethical checklist. This right here is the heart of the framework. Let's walk through it. First up, S is for sensitivity. That just means handle your data and the people it represents with care, minimize harm. Next, T for transparency. Simple. Be open about how and where you're using AI. Then we've got R for responsibility. You've got to be clear about who owns the work and who's accountable for it. E is for ethics, making sure everything you're doing lines up with fairness and your community's values. And these last 2 S's, man, they are so important. Skepticism. You can't just trust what the AI spits out. You have to actively verify it. And finally, security, protecting your data, your models, the whole shebang. Put them all together, and you've got a really solid defense against the biggest risks. Okay, a framework is one thing, but how do you actually apply it in your day-to-day work? Well, the creators of Stress also built a super practical tool for that exact reason, an AI advisor. Say hello to the STRESS Chatbot. And honestly, the best way to think about it is as your ethical co-pilot. It's a specialized AI that's been designed to help you navigate the framework and apply those 6 pillars directly to whatever project you're working on. Now, this is a really, really important point. This chatbot is purely an advisor. It's there to help you hit the right standards and ask the right questions. What it does not do is grade your work or analyze your findings. Its job is to be your guide, not your grader, and that distinction is absolutely key. All right, enough with the theory. Let's get our hands dirty. How do you actually put this framework and the chatbot to work on your next project? Here's how it works in practice. You can consult the chatbot for guidance on sticky ethical questions. You can ask it to help you write those tricky AI disclosure statements for your papers. It can help you figure out how to document and cite your tools correctly, give you best practices for security, and even help you apply that crucial pillar of skepticism to double-check your results. And to show you just how easy it is to get started, here are a few sample prompts. You could literally ask it, "Can you help me write an AI disclosure statement for my research paper?" Or, "How can I verify whether an AI-generated summary is reliable?" You could ask for a simple security checklist, or even just say, "Walk me through applying all 6 stress pillars to my project." It's built to be useful right out of the gate. So when you put it all together, what do you get? Well, using the STRESS framework and its chatbot gives you a clear, structured way to make sure your work isn't just cutting edge, but also transparent, ethical, and, really importantly, completely defensible when people start asking questions. And this brings us to one last big question to leave you with.
As AI just becomes standard part of our toolkit, the expectations for how we use it are only going to climb. So the question isn't really about the cost of adopting a framework like this one. The real question is, what is the true cost to our work, to our credibility, of not being transparent?